Hey you guys, how are you doing? It's Jay Sterling here, and this will be the first commentary for the Fantastic Tale of Folklore. I'll be doing a series of videos where we can look at the Fantastic Tale of Folklore or any other series under Galileo Studio on LINE WEBTOON. Um, for those who have not seen my other videos who may not know, LINE WEBTOON is almost like a brand new website here in America, um, where basically all webcomic creators can publish their series through these beautiful people. They have the creator or the Challenge League or the Discover League, where basically someone like me or you could post their series in hopes of it becoming featured and becoming, as you see the little slide at the top, one of the main artists of the, I guess, under the company, which is what I'm aiming to do. A short story about me. When I came up with the Fantastic Tale of Folklore, I wanted it actually to be a free webcomic, and I didn't have plans for it to be a physical book, just because of how I saw the direction of how everything was going. But to me, webcomics weren't very, how do I say this? They were very popular because they were getting pirated, but it wasn't anything, it didn't seem like any company had like a mainstay or kind of took the grasp of what a digital comic should be. Even DC and Marvel, they've had problems with this, and I think that because of that, the comic industry has declined. But here comes LINE WEBTOON. I think that these people have figured out a beautiful way of how to present comics in the digital format, with it still keeping its appeal and making it more accessible than a printed book. And every comic on here is for free, every single one. So I'm gonna be providing commentary for the Fantastic Tale of Folklore. To look at the Fantastic Tale of Folklore, you guys, there's 3 bars at the top. You want to click on that, and then we're going to search the Fantastic Tale of Folklore. Please make sure that you click on the first one at the top right there with Chew on top. So we're going to actually be reading the prologue. It counts it, I guess, as the first episode, but to me, I don't count it as the first episode because it's not really a first episode, it's the prologue. So we're gonna be reading that, and I'm basically gonna be walking you guys through the creative process and just the mindset that I was in when I created this. So let's go. And this is a good learning experience for not only creators but just anybody who's just interested in the creative process, or in my creative process. So let's begin. So I started this off basically I wanted to look like maybe a light was shining down, kind of, and then you just hear, like, a voice telling you that they're about to speak of the tale that's been passed down. The prologue was initially, like in the mangas that I was gonna do, the graphic novels, it was initially gonna be before every single chapter, but I figured for the webcomic that would be too much to have it there, and because the chapters are accessible to you, I just thought it would be better just to make a whole chapter of the prologue, and then you can kind of look through it. But I got the idea of this prologue, the look of it, as you can see, it looks kind of like a painting. I got the idea from it from actually the Legend of the Zelda, Skyward Sword. I hope I'm not butchering the name. That's one of my favorite Zelda games, Skyward Sword to be exact. In the opening of the game, they had a origin piece that was like almost like an oil painting. And it just was setting up, the legend of the past before, the main story began. So when I was deciding on trying to create the, I guess just the look of how I would tell the story, I figured that would be the perfect one to not necessarily draw out the prologue, but to do a painting of it. And that's basically actually what all this is. It's paintings that I did with no lines. I used Photoshop, of course, and I painted in it. I painted with it, rather, and then I believe I used fresco. That was the artistic filter that I used to give it this look that it has, to make it look like an oil painting. So yeah, because it is a painting, I didn't want things to be very clear. You can see what's going on. Like, this is obviously an egg with a crown holding some type of piece of paper, but I didn't want it to be necessarily very clear. I wanted it to be kind of like, not kiddie-ish, but simple, like simple. Simple, so it would really look like it's like something that's ancient or a storybook. So basically, you know, what's going on is the king had proposed a treaty to keep the land of Agworth and the skies of Agworth in peace, because both would play music during times that they would be asleep. And while he was about to present this treaty and get the sky beings to sign it, demons broke into Agworth. And they're represented by these little ugly things of horns. And I really like how this came out with the fire, and that's how. And also with the, you see how the backgrounds are changing, you guys. I do like a gradient with that. That's the great thing I like about Line Webtoon, is because it scrolls down, it just, I mean, you just don't know, like, it's kind of like a surprise. Like, as you scroll down, like, it changes the mood, and you have, you know, the backgrounds to it. But this is just showing the castle, showing the sky beings flying away. This is a very pivotal, just a pivotal tale. It just sets the scene up for everything, and just lets you know. It doesn't let you know why the music has been forbidden, but instead of just jumping into the story and this music is forbidden and nobody really knows like what really happened to Agworth, I just wanted to provide a little short story of the history, and this just sets it up and lets you know that I read and illustrated the series, in Galileo Studio, which is the company that I founded along with Janae Maxine, and hopefully in the future more artists. We're just presenting the Fantastic Tale of Folklore, and this is just the beginning.